وأنلنا هذه البغية ولا تضحنا عن ظلك السابغ ولا تجعلنا مضغة للماضغ فقد مددنا إليك يد المسألة وبخعنا بالاستكانة لك والمسكنة واستنزلنا كرمك الجم وفضلك الذي عم بضراعة الطلب وبضاعة الأمل. اے اللہ پس آپ ہمارے حقق کر دیجئے اس مقصود کو اور ہمیں حاصل کرا دیجئے یہ مطلوب اور ہم کو نہ ہٹائیے آپ کے کامل سایہ سے اور ہم کو نہ بنائیے بوٹی چبانے والے کے لیے کیونکہ ہم نے آپ کی طرف سوال کا ہاتھ پھیلا دیا ہے اور آپ کے سامنے عاجزی و بے بسی اور محتاجی کا اقرار کیا ہے اور ہم نے اتروانا چاہا ہے آپ کے اس کرم کو جو بہت زیادہ ہے اور اس فضل کو جو عام ہے طلب کی گرگراہٹ کے ساتھ اور امید کی پونجی کے ساتھ. جی او اللہ then please make this tamanna and wish come true for us and let us achieve this goal and do not remove us from your complete shadow and do not make us a morsel for those who chew and because we have stretched to you the hand of begging and we have admitted to humility and humbleness before you and our utmost need of you and we have requested you to send down to us your grace which is plentiful and your fadl which is encompassing of all by way of pleading in our begging and with the punji and the peace of amal and hope that we have. Allahumma fahaqqiq lana haqqaqa yuhaqqiqu tahqiqan means ثابت کرنا تو ہمارے لیے ثابت کر دیجیے and make it come true for us. هذه المنية یہ منیہ جو ہے from tamanna tamanna یا tamanna tamanniyan is from mana yamnu manwan and mana yamnu means to wish. Tamanna ya tamanna tamanniyan also means to wish and mana yamni from babi daraba yadribu means to fix. So it is used for fixing man Allahu shay'a manyan yani qaddarahu and from that taqdeer comes money with which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates haywanat. One meaning of mana yamni is also to flow and min nutfatin idha tumna when the nutfa which is placed into the female's womb meaning it flows there. So that's where it's taken from. And Mina is the name of a place near Makkah Sharif, 3 miles, where Haji goes. Sheikh Yunus Sahib said, لِأَنَّهَا تُمْنَا بِهَا الدِّمَاء because in Mina, the blood of the sacrificial animals is shed. That's why it's called Mina because the blood flows from in there of the animals. So, Al-Munya means tamanna, maqsood, matloob. And Anilna is from Anala Yunilu Inalatan, which is from Nala Yanalu Nailan. Nala Yanalu Nailan, Wala Yanaluna min Adubin Nailan illa kutiba lahum. Hasil karna, to achieve. And Anala Yunilu Inalatan means hasil karana, to give. لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون يعني لن تحصلوا. So anala means hasil karana, bhabi if'al, mutaddi. So Allah, anilna hadhil bughiya, let us achieve this bughiya. Bughiya is from bagha yabghi baghyan, which means talash karna, to search for something, to look for something. From there, baghyun is also used for zina. A prostitute is called baghiyun because she goes out in search for someone to have to fulfill her desire with. So that's why she is called baghiyun. So bughya means matlub, maqsood, something a person searches for and looks for. Then baghyun is also used for zulm as well. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي. بغي means zulm. So بغى يبغي literally means تلاش करना. So أنلنا هذه البغية يعني هذه المطلوب, and let us achieve this goal and this aim which we are aiming for. ولا تضحنا عن ظلك السابغ, and do not move us away from your shadow which is covering and which is full. Tudhina is from adha yudhi idha'an, which is from dhahwa and duha. Dhahwa and duha means forenoon, and the heat of the forenoon is severe. So adha means to push someone away from the saya and into the dhoop. So let's say if someone was, resting, having a nice nap under the shade of a tree, and this dada and gunda comes and he kicks him out. Hey, I want to sleep here. Go away from here, and he shoves him into the dhoop and heat. So this is called adha yudhi, to push someone away from the shadow, to remove them. So la tudhina, please do not remove us and turn us away into the heat from anzillika sabir, your shadow which is full and covering. Allah's shadow, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put covering over us. That is Allah's shadow, Allah's provided shadow, not his own shadow, because Allah doesn't have a body or anything. So Allah does not have physique. So your shadow which you provide, please don't remove us into the dhoob and heat from there. And وَلَا تَجْعَلْنَا مُضْغَةً لِلْمَاضِرِ, and do not make us a boti chabane wale ke liye. Mudgha, qit'atu lahmin qadra ma yumdagh, piece of flesh which can be chewed. Large boti cannot be chewed. It has to be small size, medium size, which you can chew. Otherwise, your mouth will be so full you can't chew it. So you need a munasib morsel, small piece of flesh which you are able to chew. This is why the botis are chopped into small pieces so you can chew them when you're eating. So mudgha means chabane ke layak boti, and madir from madagha yamdughu madghan, which means chabana, to chew. So mudghatan lil madir, a morsel for people to chew. What does that mean? The intended meaning of it is criticism, a target for criticism. Do not make us such that people chew us and target us with criticism and find faults within us. فَقَدْ مَدَدْنَا إِلَيْكَ يَدَ الْمَسْأَلَةِ, we have stretched to you the hand of begging. Madda yamuddu maddan means phailana, stretch. And yad jama aidi, jamul jama ayadi, hand. Al mas'ala, su'al, begging. وَبَخَعْنَا بِالْإِسْتِكَانَةِ لَكَ وَالْمَسْكَنَةِ, and we have admitted to you of our humility and muhtaji. Bakha yabkha'u bakh'an. Bakha nafsahu means to destroy. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. So bakha nafsahu means to destroy. But when it comes with ba harf jar, bakha bishay'i, bakha bihaqqi fulanin, then it means aqarra, to admit. So bakha'na bil istikanati, we admit and we do i'tiraf, and we admit that we humble ourselves before you. Istakana yastakinu, istikanatan means to humble oneself, to humiliate oneself. We are nothing in front of the power of Allah. Allah's Qudrat is amazing. Listen to Hazrat Maulana Ahmad Ali Saab's bayan on Saturday, which you didn't attend. Hamza Ariga, Talha Nalair. And Alameen, were you there or you went to sleep? You went to sleep in my bayan? In the Friday evening bayan, you weren't there. Chaliye. So, Sheikh Ahmad Ali's bayan, he talks about the power of Allah. So we are humble before Allah. We are nothing in front of the Qudrat and power of Allah. So we admit to you of our utmost humility. Istakana yastakinu, bilkul humility, humbleness. Mustaqeen means a person who realizes the lowliness of himself. So our utmost humility and humbleness before you. And wal maskanati, maskanat means muhtaji. Miskeen means muhtaj. So we are muhtaj and in need of you at all times. We can never be independent and free of need from you. Wastanzalna karamakal jamma. And we have asked you to send upon us your karam and your grace, and which is huge and massive. Istanzala yastanzilu istinzalan talabun nuzul. And karam, karuma yakrumu, karaman means nobility, honor, grace. Allah is Kareem. Among Allah's sifat is Al-Kareem. He is noble and he is graceful. And Al-Jamma is from Jamma yajumu jamman. Jamma al-ma'u jumuman means the water gathered in the lake, and the lake became huge and it was filled with water as far as the eye can see. So, karamakal jamma, your karam and your grace, which is jam and kasir and plenty. Wa fadlaka alladhi amma, and your fadl, which is am. Fadl also means grace, ihsan. And amma ya'umu amman means am hona, to be encompassing, widespread. Your fadl is widespread and am, so we want your fadl to descend upon us. Bidara'ati talab, we have asked you to send it down upon us by the girgirana and pleading of talab. Dhara yadra'u dhara'an dhara'atan, tadarra'a yatadarra'u tadarru'an, ud'u rabbakum tadarru'an wa khufyah innahu la yuhibbul mu'tadeen. It means girgirana. Please, please, de do na yaar, please, Allah ke waste, de do na, Allah ke naam par de do na. This is pleading. You have to learn how to plead from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are pleading to you, Allah. We have asked you by pleading in our begging, and wabida'atil amali, and with the little bit of punji we have of hope. Bida'atun literally means qit'atun. So over here it means qit'atun wafiratun min mali tijarat. Your capital. You know, when you start a business, you have a capital. For example, you had 10,000 pounds, and that was your capital. With that, you bought some goods and you start buying and selling in order to increase your business. So the capital money which you put in is called bida'at. In Quran, وَجِئْنَا بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ فَأَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلَ وَتَصَدَّقْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَجْزِي الْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ. So bida'at, we have this capital of hope. There is nothing, no capital we have besides the hope we have from you. To ummid ki punji ke saath. ثم بالتوسل بمحمد سيد البشر والشفيع المشفع في المحشر الذي ختمت به النبيين وأعليت درجته في عليين ووصفته في كتابك المبين فقلت وأنت أصدق القائلين وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين اللهم فصل عليه وعلى آله الهادين وأصحابه الذين اشهدوا الدين واجعلنا لهديه وهديهم متبعين وانفعنا بمحبته ومحبتهم أجمعين إنك على كل شيء قدير وبالإجابة جدير. इसके बाद फिर वसीला पकड़ते हुए हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का, जो तमाम इंसानों के सरदार हैं और ऐसे सिफारिश करने वाले हैं जिनकी सिफारिश कबूल की जाएगी मैदान हश्र में, जिन पर आपने नबियों को ख़त्म कर दिया और जिनका दर्जा आपने इल्लियीन में बुलंद किया और जिनकी सिफत आपने अपनी किताब मुबीन में बयान की। बस आपने फरमाया, जबकि आप तमाम काइलीन में सच्चे काइल हैं, हमने नहीं भेजा आपको मगर रहमतुल लिल आलमीन बनाकर। ए खुदा, बस आप दुरूद नाजिल कीजिए उन पर और उनके हिदायत याफ्ता ख़ानदान पर और उनके सहाबा पर जिन्होंने दीन को बुलंद किया, और हमें आपकी सीरत और उनकी सीरत के पैरोकार बनाइए, और हमें आपकी मोहब्बत और उन सब की मोहब्बत से नफ़ा पहुँचाइए। बेशक आप हर शय पर कादिर हैं और हमारी दुआ कबूल करने के लायक हैं। Then we take the wasila of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the leader of humanity and who is the interceder, whose intercession will be accepted in Maidani Hashar, upon whom you finalized the prophets and whose rank you elevated in Illiyin, and you described him in your clear-cut book. So you said, whilst you are the most truthful of those who speak, we have not sent you except as a mercy for the universe. O Allah, send your blessings upon him and upon his family who were rightly guided, and upon his Sahaba who supported and elevated his deen and strengthened his deen, and make us for his sirat and for their sirat followers, and benefit us with his muhabbat and their muhabbat, all of them. Indeed, you have power over everything, and you are deserving of accepting our dua. Wa ba'du, and afterwards. Summa bit tawassul, tawassala yatawassalu, tawassulan means wasila pakadana, to take the means to something. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wabtaghu ilayhil wasila, to get the al-wasila al-manzila inda al-malik, a special ranking and position with the king. And this is for the ministers. He listens to the ministers. If the minister makes a request, then the king, obliges and fulfills that request. So, tawassul means to take that wasila and means. Bi Muhammadin Sayyidil Bashar. Sayyid is from Sada Yasudu Siyadatan, meaning Sara Sayyidan. Al-Bashar yastawi fihi al-wahid wal-jam'. And Bashar is same for singular and plural. So he is the leader of Bashar, humanity. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ. It can be used for singular and for plural. وَالشَّفِيعِ الْمُشَفَّرِ. Sometimes Bashar is plural by Shar, in some cases. وَالشَّفِيعِ الْمُشَفَّعِ. Shafa' yashfa'u shafa'atan, to intercede and speak up for someone. And shafa' yushaffi'u tashfi'an means to accept the intercession. Fil mahshar, in Maidani Hashar, mahshar, assembly, where everybody will be gathered. Upon whom khatamta bihin nabiyyin. Khatama yakhtimu, khataman means khatam karna, to finalize. To khatamta bihin nabiyyin, upon whom you finalize the prophet. You finished off the prophethood upon him. And وَأَعْلَيْتَ دَرَجَتَهُ فِي عِلِّيِّينَ. أَعْلَى يُعْلِي إِعْلَاءً, to raise, to elevate. عَلَى يَعْلُو عُلُوًا means to rise. So you raised his daraja in Illiyin. Illiyin is the highest part of Jannah. Perhaps it is the plural of Illiyatun. From Illiyatun, Jama is Illiyin. And Quran Sharif said, كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين وما أدراك ما عليون كتاب مرقوم يشهده المقربون. The different rankings of Illiyin are mentioned by Imam Qurtubi in his tafsir, and check it in there in tafsir Suratul Mutaffifin if you want. And you described him in your Kitab-e Mubin, clear-cut book. You said, whilst you are, وَأَنْتَ, wow is haliya. فَقُلْتَ وَأَنْتَ أَيْ وَالْحَالُ أَنَّكَ. You said, whilst you are the most truthful of the speakers, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have not sent you but as a mercy for the whole universe. Allahumma fasalli alayhi. O Allah, send your salat and durood and mercy and rahmat upon him and upon his family. Al-al, kullu mu'minin taqiyyin. Every parhezgar mu'min is al of Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Sometimes al is used for bima'na ahl. Ahl means family. So it could mean here his family, and his family are his wives, his daughters, his grandchildren, his in-laws, Banu Hashim and Banu Muttalib. Those who believed in him from Banu Hashim are all his family. his uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces, whatever you would want to include in there, are all included in his family. So his family is broad, not just Hazrat Ali Hassan, Hazrat Ali Fatima and Hassan Hussein. Don't restrict family to that. Family is broad, the whole family. His Azwaji Mutaharat, as I said, all his daughters, all his son in laws, and all his uncles, Abbas, Hamza, their descendants, they are all his family members. His cousin Ali, Jafar, Aqil, their descendants, they are all his al. So his family members who were rightly guided, who was on hidayah, and his Sahaba, alladhina shaduddin. Sahaba, ashab is plural of sahib. No fa'il has jama on af'al except sahib jama ashab. Okay, the other af'al have jama in other ways, not af'al. So his ashab, meaning his sahaba, alladhina shaduddin, shada yashidu shaydan ke maana buland karna. जिन्होंने दीन को बुलंद किया, ऊंचा किया, मजबूत किया, who raised and elevated and strengthened and supported the deen, and make us for his sirat and their sirat followers. Hadiyun means sirat. Okay, خير الهدي هدي Muhammad, the way of life, the sirat, the way he lived and they lived, and make us for their sirat and their tariqah and their way of life, the way they lived. So make us for his sirat and their sirat followers, muttabi'een from ittiba', and benefit us by his muhabbat and their muhabbat, all of them. Innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir, you have power over everything. Wa bil ijabati jadir. Jadura yashduru jadaratan means layak hona, qabul karne ke layak hain. You are worthy of accepting our du'as. बस आगे बाद में पढ़ना, जल्दी जल्दी शुरू से तर्जमा कर लो. ए अल्लाह, therefore let this tamanna and wish of ours become a reality, and let us achieve this goal and maqsood, and do not remove us and turn us away from your shade and shadow which is full and complete, and do not make us a morsel for those who chew us, because we have stretched to you the hand of begging, and we have admitted to you of our humility in front of you and our need for you. And we have begged you to send down upon us your grace, which is plentiful, and your fadl, which is encompassing everyone, by way of pleading in our talab and begging, and with the capital of hope. Then, with taking the wasila and means of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the leader of humanity and who is that interceder whose intercession will be accepted in the Maidan Hashar, upon whom you finalized the prophets and whose rankings you raised in Illiyin, and you described him in your clear-cut book. Then you said, whilst you are the most truthful among those who speak, we have not sent you but as a mercy for the universe. O Allah, send your rahmat upon him and upon his family members who were rightly guided, and upon his sahaba who elevated the deen, and make us for his sirat and their sirat followers, and benefit us with his muhabbat and their muhabbat, all of them. Indeed, you have power over everything, and you are worthy of accepting our dua. हो गया जी, याद करके आना चाहिए. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.